Hey guys, I'm back again, and today I have the brow tutorial as promised. Eyebrows are a very important feature in a woman's face. Everybody knows how you feel about your eyebrows. And for me, this is like the surefire way to get them how you want it, the shape, the darkness, the thickness, however you want is through filling out your eyebrows. So I'm going to give you two different methods today to do your eyebrows. One is going to be with powder and the other is going to be with an eyebrow pencil. Now both ways use concealer, but you may find one easier and maybe find one harder. Just pick the right one for you. If you would like to see how I fill in my brows two different ways, keep on watching this tutorial. Okay. So way number one is a concealer and then powder method. The powder that I'm using today is handwritten and the concealer is NC45. And some people go 2 shades lighter, but I just like how this looks. And with this look, the concealer and then powder, it's typically followed up by a full face of makeup or at least putting foundation on the top of your brow so that you don't get that halo look. Okay, so I'll go ahead and start with the concealer and then powder motion. One thing that I find easier about this is that you can actually outline the shape that you wish to get on your eyebrow with the concealer and then go back and just follow that line of concealer with powder. That way, and then just go across the top, making the shape that you desire. Now don't be alarmed at first, it's going to look scary. But this allows you to see the shape before you actually fill it in. Okay, so you go ahead and do that to the other brow as well. And try to make them look as close as possible. You want your eyebrows to have the same shape. But it's okay if they differ just a little bit because our eyebrows are not identical. Most people will notice that. Because even on mine, like I have freckles that start here and then my eyebrows start. So a lot of times I just make this one match that one. Because a lot of times the freckles do appear as hair. So you want to, when you're doing your eyebrows, you want to take a look back, step back and make sure that they're symmetrical. And if not, then just match it up so that they are. Simple as that. So concealer first. Now before you start blending out, which we'll do, because I know this looks crazy right now, you're going to use 2 different brushes. Here, I forgot to tell you, I use an angle brush, okay? And for the powder as well, I'm going to get a new angle brush and use that. I'm using handwritten once again, and it's like a soft brown. Most people typically use either handwritten, embark, or espresso, any of those brown colors. You don't want to do your brows with black because that looks really harsh. One thing with handwritten is very pigmented, I'll say, so you only need a little bit, and that little bit will go a long way. So I like to start in the middle because you don't want this to be the harshest because you want the beginning of your eyebrow to fade and get darker towards the tail. So you'll just start at the bottom with the amount of powder that I got. And I start toward the middle and then I drag that powder to the tail end of my eyebrow. And then whatever is the residual, you just go toward the beginning of the eyebrow so that you have that fading effect. And then like I said, you take a step back or lean back a little bit and look, get perspective on your brow. And then you go to the other side. Just get a little bit on the brush. Start at the middle and you're just following lines. And it's okay for your tail end to be darker because that's where it ends. It's typically light at the beginning because that's where your eyebrow is starting. That's where the hair is starting on your face. Okay, you take a step back, look. Make sure they are the same thickness. You I see that? My mirror's over here. Okay, and now you go back in with that same concealer brush, okay, the one you use your concealer with, and you just blend down. And the one good thing about using a lighter concealer underneath is that it can serve as your highlight, your brow highlight for your everyday look. And also, if you weren't going to wear foundation, you can also just do the top with a concealer that most closely matches your skin tone. Then you won't have to blend as much or cover it up with foundation. But the trick is, if you're going to just go blend, blend, blend. Okay? Go to this eye over here and blend down. I kind of follow the line and then drag that concealer down. The eyebrow, top, blend out. Blend out. And you go up until you can fade that out. Okay, then, like I said, take a step back, look, and you're more than welcome at this time to add foundation. One thing you want to do for smoothness is take your eyebrow brush and just brush that color through, just to make sure that your eyebrows stay in place. Now, some people set it with a gel. I don't really have a problem with straight hairs, but you are more than welcome, if you need to use a brow gel. And what that does is just keep your eyebrows in place. But that's why oftentimes I'll just tweeze the wild hairs, because I know I'm going to fill in my eyebrows, so that's not really an issue for me. So this is look number 1 with concealer first and then powder. Okay? Okay, now we have the pencil and concealer method. This is typically a little harder for most beginners, because with the pencil it's all about heaviness in hand and the shade that you find and all that. But this pencil right here is stud and it's made by MAC. Some people like spiked because it's not as harsh, but one thing I find out is just all about technique. If you're lighter in hand, then it pretty much doesn't matter what shade you have, just as long as it's dark enough to actually fill in the brow. Okay, to get started, when I do the pencil, I make sure that I brush my eyebrows into place before so that they are not unruly, because with the pencil, you're going to outline first and then conceal, pretty much to just clean up any mistakes that you may have made. So I'll go ahead and open up my pencil, and I always start on the bottom, just my preference. You will start, I always start mid-eyebrow, and it's just light strokes down to the tail. I typically use a little bit more pressure when I get down to the end, just because usually the end of the eyebrow is darker. At the top, easy strokes, and then I fill in that tip right there. To the end, longer strokes. Then I work my way up to the middle, the front of the eyebrow, the beginning of the eyebrow, and then same strokes, okay? One thing that I do, I go here, I make like a little V at the beginning of the eyebrow so that it has like that fade in the middle. Then when I'm done, I'll just go through and brush that. See, I kind of do that, get that V shape, okay? Then I look back, and typically I use the pencil for my daytime look because I don't have like all the concealer as with look number 1, because you can just pencil, conceal underneath, and go, because you have that straight line at the top. You don't really need to worry about it. Next eyebrow. Starting with the middle, light strokes. It doesn't have to be hard for you to get a result. When you try this at home yourself, you're going to see that. Then I go to the top, middle, shade in the tip of my arch, drag it down with a harder stroke motion. Go to the beginning, bottom, top, and then I just create that V. That V. Then we take a step back or lean back, and you look and check symmetry. If it's not the shape you want, you can alter it a little bit, especially at the top. And always remember that you're going to clean it up at the bottom, and that's totally okay if you make a mistake at the bottom. So I am pleased with that shape. And now to go in with the concealer. Angled brush, same concealer, Studio Finish NC45. And I'm just going to go under that brow and line it. You can call this like the cleanup method. And you can do as much or little concealer as you can stand. It just all depends on how well you're going to blend that out. Okay, now you have your concealer on the bottom, and just as we did with time number 1, you're just going to take it and blend down. Drag and blend down. Just in following that line. And you look back, make sure that they are symmetrical. And then you want to go in with your eyebrow brush again, just to make sure the gradient of color is even on both sides. Brush through the beginning there. And then you can proceed with your eyeshadow routine as usual. So, you take a step back, check for symmetry, and then you can go ahead and complete your actual eyeshadow. Just go in with hand rings still, because that's what I use in my crease, and just blend. Where's your wiper motions? And then you are ready to go. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. That was the pencil and concealer method. Always remember, you are the trend and rebels have all the fun. Thanks for watching, guys.